this PPT is the PDFs I'm using. It will be shared to you later. I think Girija, we are going to create a WhatsApp group as well for this.
Yes, 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 yes,
Okay,
yes.
great. Yeah, and if you are not speaking, I suggest you to put yourself on mute. And I'm absolutely fine if you interrupt me in the training, ask me questions. We want to keep it as lively as possible. Feedbacks are welcome, questions are welcome. So unless and until you don't ask me, it is assumed that you understood it. So please ask, please interrupt me. Then only you will be able to get much understanding of the things. Okay. So can you see my screen?
Yes, Kushal.
Okay, great. Uh, okay. So let me start with the introduction to cloud computing. And by the way, now you can if you want, you can just turn off your camera to just have a, I would say, a good connectivity. Okay, so you can turn off your camera. Now it's not needed. Yeah. So what are we going to cover in this first chapter or first session which we are taking today? Okay, so we are going to cover basic of cloud computing. Okay, what are the characteristic tenants of cloud computing? What are the deployment models, service models? um, Let me mute everybody because I'm getting a lot of background noise. Mute. Yeah. Who all? Yeah, okay, fine. Okay. So we'll cover the service model. We'll touch base on the what is AWS. Okay, benefit of AWS or traditional, how traditional models were being used up till now. Yeah. Then we also need to set up an account for AWS. I will run through that, and then we'll walk through the management console for AWS. Yeah, basic housekeeping in terms of the console, how to set up the billing alarm, yeah, and how where to see the billing dashboard and all those things. Okay, so if I assume, I think because all of are from some kind of a networking background and some kind of a technical background, you might be aware of cloud computing. But if you see in terms of the pure cloud computing definition, it's an internet-based computing in which large group of remote servers are networked to allow centralized data storage, online access to the computer service or resources. Yeah. So cloud computing is nothing but a kind of a model wherein you have everything kept at one place and you access it via some kind of a connectivity, whether it's your internet connectivity, whether you are have a VPN connectivity or any sort of connectivity to reach that resource. Okay. So it's a host of services that are hosted at remote location and they are remotely accessible to us. What are the services part of the cloud computing? So it is, you name the services and they are available in the cloud computing right now. Okay. Majorly, those are divided into networks, servers, storage, application, and various other services which are complementing this components. Yeah. Um, the best part of cloud computing is it will be available with minimal management effort, and you do not have to directly interact with the service provider. The service provider in this case is your cloud provider, be it like AWS, be it like Azure, or be it like Google. Yeah. Then cloud compute has a certain basic tenets, okay, basic characteristic in terms of what it has to offer, what are the benefits, and what are the things you will get by using cloud computing. Okay. So one of the major I would say the characteristic tenant is high availability. In terms of high availability, what is high availability? First of all, okay, high availability is nothing but whether your service is available at all the time. Okay, we talk in terms of the availability, in terms of the number of nines. 99.9% availability, 99.99, or 5 nines or 9 nines. Okay, so 99 being the highest kind of availability you can get from a resource. 99.99 is the standard. 59 is kind of a good. Okay, so that is about the availability. If your one server fails, second server should be able to give you the service. That is about high availability. Yeah. Fault tolerance, high availability and fault tolerance are being used interchangeably. Just a minute, I have a ping from somebody. What is happening? uh, okay, somebody's okay, screenshot. Okay, fine. So what is fault tolerance? At times it is being uh, interchangeably used with high availability, but fault tolerance is about how you are going to cope up with the fault and how to resolve it. Yeah. uh, yes, Seema.
Hello.
Anything you want to say, Seema?
Yes, Toshal. Yes, Toshal.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, just I want to know that candidates which are supposed to join, I'm, yeah, the name that was, just a minute, Ameya, is there Ameya?
Yeah, he's there.
Vivek, Vivek,
Vivek.
Sneha,
Sneha is already there.
okay, Sneha, Smriti, Smriti, are you
Yes,
there?
yes, yes.
Okay,
Smriti is,
Jitendra, are you there?
he's there.
Yes. Yes, I am. Yep.
Okay, Nitin, are you there?
Yeah, yes, ma'am, I'm there.
Okay, and Sonal should be there. Sonal,
Sonam. Yes, ma'am.
Sonam. Okay, okay, Sonam is there. Right, and one more candidates like Chandan is there, right?
Yes,
Chandan, are
Chandan
you
is,
there?
he's there.
Yeah. Toshal and Bhagyashri.
Bhagyashri is
Yes, yes,
also there.
yes.
Okay, so Chandan and Bhagyashri both are as a demo purpose social today.
Okay,
Both have
okay,
joined.
okay,
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
okay.
So
Fair enough.
please, who have login with guest, please send their name in chat box so that we will get to know you are, because I don't get your name.
Yeah.
So everybody, it is request. Please put your name in chat box. It's request to everybody. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I
Fine.
think there are two logins by guest. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
Seema. I am Smriti.
Okay.
I log in by a guest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Smriti, please create your ID as soon as possible. Okay.
Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah. Okay. So more candidates by guest. One more is there. Who is logging as a guest?
Ma'am, it's me, Harsh Tiwari.
Harsh.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Harsh, please put your name in chat box.
Okay. Putting in chat box. Chat box.
Harsh, put your complete name with the mobile number and your contact details like that.
Okay, just a minute.
Yes. Yes. So request to candidates that please confirm your login ID so that I will close the link by today, end of the day. So please set your name and sign in with your name only, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Harsh, you need to put your name and contact details in chat box.
मैम इसमें चैट बॉक्स कहाँ पर आ रहा है, ये मुझे शो नहीं हो रहा है।
चैट बॉक्स आपको नहीं दिख रहा है? चैट बोल के आता है। आप मोबाइल से ज्वाइन किया है क्या आपने?
यस यस, मोबाइल से ज्वाइन किया।
मोबाइल से लेफ्ट टॉप मोस्ट कॉर्नर में है, लेफ्ट टॉप कॉर्नर में है, आप देखिए। मिल गया? जस्ट वेट राकेश, मी करते हैं।
यस यस।
Yeah. Yes, Harsh.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Have you got this chat box?
Yeah, chat box, but it is not. It cannot be typed.
Sorry.
I have opened the chat box, but it cannot be typed.
Sorry, we can't. You are not audible, Harsh. What do you want to say?
Harsh, yeah. So what you should just type in text rather than, I think you are sharing the screen share of the PPT. Just type in the chat box.
Yeah.
Here you have to type in. Just reply to this. No,
Yeah.
you are pasting I would say.
Have you seen the messages you received in chat box?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and type in that same window. Type a message. You might see that.
No, I think you are again. Don't click on the add file kind of a thing icon. Just type in there.
Type a message.
Type a message.
Okay.
Got
Okay.
it?
I think maybe Seema, you can just take him with him offline, I would say.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Just dictate your contact details. I note it down. Harsh. Sorry. Just loudly, please.
मैम अब इसमें टाइपिंग का ऑप्शन आया था, बट उसमें वो टाइप नहीं हो रहा, पता नहीं क्यों।
ठीक है, आप आपका नंबर बता दो, मैं यहाँ पे नोट करती हूँ। आप आपका नंबर बता दो।
87388
873
88
हाँ
65
सॉरी
65
65
760
660
760 not a 760 760
760
yes, I'm repeating
760
87388
हाँ
65
हाँ
760
ओके। हर्ष ना?
yes ma'am.
Okay, Harsh. Thank you. Yeah. Toshal, please go ahead. Go ahead. Thank you all.
okay, thank you, Seema. And
Thanks.
yeah, and sorry for that, guys. Just a housekeeping, I would say, for the first session. So we were talking about fault tolerance. Okay, so fault tolerance is nothing but how you are going to cope up with the fault and how you will overcome and how will you fix. So fault tolerance is one of the main tenets of cloud computing. You have environments wherein uh, you can come up with a kind of a solution to avoid getting your service impacted. Okay, so that is one of the main tenant. Then we have something called as scalability. Okay, so scalability is nothing but how you can expand your capacity in terms of whether you add resources to it or whether you increase the the capacity of that resource. Yeah. Then we have elasticity. Yeah. So elasticity, it is nothing but again how you grow your environment in terms of the capacity and all those things. Yeah. So there is a very thin line in terms of scalability and elasticity. Yeah. So it gives you the ability to grow your environment. Okay. Then
Tamal,
the
sorry to stop you. I mean, what's the
yeah.
key difference between scalability and elasticity? It's
Yeah.
always
So
confusing.
yeah, so scalability is nothing but you are scaling your environment. So there are two types of scalability: horizontal scaling, vertical scaling. Horizontal scaling, wherein it's a simple thing. Yeah. So horizontal scaling is how you are going to increase the size of that environment and scale it. Vertical scaling is nothing but how you add the same components multiple times and then have the capacity required to give the end users the needed capacity. In terms of elasticity, how you can expand your solution as per se, not the components. Yeah. So that is how scalability will be given. Scalability in terms of expanding your application to cater more the things, that is again directly related to the scalable solution of your environment. Yeah. Is that clear, Jitendra?
Not much, but maybe scalability is
Yeah,
something like.
I'll give you
Okay.
example later on. You will be able to see it properly. Yeah, in terms of the scalability, it is very interchangeably be used. There is a very thin line in terms of what is scalability and elasticity. Yeah. So hold on your question. I will come to you when I'm going to give you example. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Then the major thing which is not mentioned here is the cost optimization or the cost factor of cloud computing. Okay. At many a times, cost become a very important driver for cloud computing. Yeah. A lot of companies have a kind of a notion that they will be able to save cost or they'll be able to reduce cost. Okay, but then yeah, at times it is how you are running your environment and that gives you the benefit. Okay, it gives you the benefit of agility. Okay, we will see it later on what are the things which complements that. Cost computing is also a kind of a main tenant for cloud computing. Then you have pay as you go model. Okay, you pay for whatever the service you are using. You are not going to pay for anything extra which is not being consumed by you. Yeah, you are asked to pay for only the 1 hour you are going to use or the seconds you are going to use the resources. Yeah, with all these features and characteristics, you tend to get a kind of a easy access or a lower latency to your environment. Okay, there are factors which are governing the local lower latency. For example, how you are connecting to the environment, how the cloud computing environment are talking to each other, what kind of component you going to use in cloud computing environment, all those are going to govern the low latency. Yeah. Then we will see uh, the cloud deployment model. Yeah. And how cloud computing is defined. Okay, so we have 3 to 4 majorly 3 kind of a deployment model of private cloud, public cloud, hybrid, and we also have something called as community cloud. Yeah. So what is private cloud? Yeah. So private cloud is managed and used by specific business users or organization. That means it is being run by a private entity. Okay, at times private cloud is also being given as a kind of a subscription to some users to use it. We have major players in private cloud in our own country, uh, which are used in conjunction with the public cloud. Okay, so now what is public cloud? Okay, public cloud is open and accessible to public for subscription. Okay, so for public cloud you do not have to enter into some kind of a agreement, and then they will create your account, and it's not, I would say, in terms of open to subscription. Yeah, you have to get a permission and then get into a subscription with private cloud. But with public cloud you are open for subscription. You go on their website, you create your login ID. Okay, and that's it, you are able to use the public cloud. The major advantage of using public cloud is it gives you the scale. Okay, it gives you the scale of operations, and that drives lower cost. Yeah, in the history of AWS, AWS has never raised their services cost. Yeah, they have reduced. Why? Because they have the scale of the operations, they have the magnitude of customers, they have the magnitude of the environment, the data centers, the regions, the AZs. That's why they are able to give you the services at a lower cost. Yeah, with public cloud they are giving you a maintenance free environment. There are certain services which you do not have to worry, you just use it. Everything underlining will be maintained by the AWS or Azure. Yeah, so near unlimited scalability, that is what I would say in practical sense. You get unlimited scalability. Whatever the demand, it will be able to give you the scalability. Yeah, uh, in terms of high reliability, yes, they are highly reliable. There are mechanism built into the cloud computing wherein they will give you some kind of a multi-region, multi-tenant, or a kind of a high reliable environment, so that you can fall back if one server fails, you can fall back to the other. Then we have community cloud. Community cloud is like, for example, some university, for example, Harvard University, they have their own community cloud. So those are being used by their own internal users, and they are using for their own purposes, which is not shared by somebody else. So it is specific, okay, to a limited users. Then we have hybrid cloud. Okay, so there is nothing as such as a hybrid cloud, but it is a combination of two clouds, the combination of public as well as private cloud. Yeah, so it gives you best of both the worlds, private as well as public. Okay, um, the emergence of hybrid cloud has came with certain practical challenges. For example, you need some kind of a data localization. What is data localization? Certain government says that my data should not go out of my country. Okay, at that time, if that particular service is not available in public cloud, you go for a private cloud. Yeah, private cloud will be locally available. You will be able to access it and then integrate with public cloud. So that is how the emergence of hybrid cloud has came into existence. Yeah, so you are taking both of best of both the world. Is it clear till now?
So Tushal, this community cloud, how the
Hmm.
deployment of this community cloud? They create their own cloud or they take some space
Yes.
from the public cloud?
No, so they do not take their space. Okay, they built their own environment. So
Okay.
cloud is nothing but a data center somewhere located somewhere. Yeah, for this community cloud, they will build their own data center. They will manage it. They will maintain it, and they will use for their own purpose. Okay, so this is not for use for general public. It will not be accessible. For example, I have given you Harvard University example. They have their own cloud. They are using there for the research purpose, and that's it. Okay, so it is not for consumption for general public. Got it?
Okay, then how it differs from the private cloud?
So private cloud, this is available for consumption to other public. So for example, in India there are players like Control S, okay, NetMagic, Sifi, all those they give their private cloud. They give their own network services, their own servers, their own storage, everything to you to use it on a subscription model. You get into an agreement with them. you get a sign on to their cloud, and then you use it. They will help you to set up the environment, or you can also provision your on your own. Okay,
Okay.
community
And
cloud will not give you that.
okay, AWS is public cloud, right?
AWS is public cloud. AWS, Azure, GCP, Alibaba, Huawei, all those are public cloud.
So shall this SIFI is also giving the cloud services, and AWS is also giving cloud services.
Correct.
So why we are labeling them one as a private and one as public?
Yeah. So the only thing is, with CFI, you cannot go and directly get started using it. Okay, you need to have a kind of a in terms of service agreement with them, ask for the services, and then go for it. Okay, with AWS, you just go on their website. That's it. Register there. You are done. You can start using it. Second
Yeah. So
point is, yeah,
sorry to interrupt. So like
yeah.
SIFI, they don't give us the direct APIs for the cloud management and infra management. This is why
They
we have
will,
to go via
yeah,
them.
and
Is it like
that will be on a case to case basis. Yes, that will be on a case to case basis. It is not open to all. Yeah, so you have to understand their offerings, what are the services they are going to offer. Basic thing, for example, you say I want a VM service. Yes, they can do it, but for certain applications, yeah, you have to ask for a case to case basis, and then only you will be able to do it. Yeah, they are operating in a very limited zone. Okay, they are operating only in India. Okay, they might be operating at some other geographic location, but again, it is very limited. Okay, with public cloud, you get enormous capabilities. Their environment is spread across the globe. Okay, with AWS, with Azure, you go to any other region. For example, Singapore, you go there, you have the public cloud available. Same, whatever the features you are using in India, you will be able to use in Singapore, whether you go to any other European region as well. So all these services are almost available in each and every region of the public cloud. With private cloud, it is not. Okay, a local player in India is not available in Singapore region, or maybe Europe region. Yeah, so that is the difference.
okay, I got it. Actually, I was thinking that private cloud is something an organization is setting it for itself for its own usage, but that should be called
Yeah.
as a community cloud, right? Yeah.
No, it should not be called as a community cloud. Okay, so it can be called as a private cloud, but not community cloud. The clear
Okay.
distinction for community cloud is it is not built for any commercial purpose. Private cloud is also built for commercial purpose. Okay,
Okay.
you yeah, you can call. Let's say, for example, Tata has their own cloud. Okay, and they are also giving that as a part of hosted environment to some other users to use it. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so we call them as a private cloud. Okay, but whatever their own data center for private use, they are keeping it separate. They are doing a tenancy in terms of what they are keeping specifically for their internal uses, and what is being given to the end users. Okay, so we call that as a private. Got
Okay.
it?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So clear distinction. If somebody says it is the scale at which it is operating, it is the usage of it, how fast you can just onboard and get started using it. Okay, so that is the main difference, I would say, in terms of private and public cloud. Glad you asked it, you cleared it. Yeah, so that is good. Then we will see service model for cloud computing. Okay, what are the ways of using it, what are the things, okay, in terms of the services being offered by cloud. So there are three categories: infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and a software as a service. Okay, so infrastructure as a service, it is at the bottom layer of the pyramid. Okay, so this talks about the infrastructure. What is the infrastructure? Infrastructure is your server, it is your storage, it is your network. Okay, anything which deals with the underlying infrastructure which is needed to run your application. Yeah, so that is a infrastructure as a service. Then we have something else, platform as a service. Okay, platform as a service is, it gives you a kind of a platform on which you build your environment. Okay, for example, we have something as a, a s- uh, for in terms of AWS, we have something called elastic beanstalk, which gives you a platform to run your application. Okay, and you use that platform to run the environment which is needed for your website or your dev environment or your product environment to run. Yeah, then we have software as a service. Okay, soft package as a platform as a service will have a application stack as well, in combination to the server, storage, and network stack. With software as a service, you will have your application as well added to it. Yeah, for example, Office 365. It is, yeah, it is a software as a service. You just use it, consume it, okay, rather than doing anything. You are underlining whatever the AD services you are going to use, any kind of application you are going to, it is all bundled into it. So these are the model for cloud computing. Okay, so it is for end user consumption, it is for the application developer to consume and build their application, and it is at the infrastructure level to be consumed by the users. Yeah.
So, Toshal, I mean, let's
Yeah.
say if I want my application to be scalable and spread across, so I think PaaS would be the better choice. I mean, in current scenario where we are trying to utilize the
Uh-huh.
cloud on an optimal path. So I think
Yeah.
infra is something. IaaS is the foundation for all cloud, right? So that is something a must.
Y-
We need to take it from the cloud, right? And
yes.
then
Hmm.
deploy our application and make it use available to use for end users, so that it will becomes a pass, like we're providing a platform, right?
Yeah. So
Okay.
there is, yeah, there is something like, for example, you are using Google Drive, or you are using Gmail. Okay, it is being given as a software as a service. You are not bothered about what is relying under it. Okay, what kind of a storage server, what kind of a compute is being used. You are not you are not totally bothered about it. Okay, when that kind of a model comes into picture, it is kind of a offering that services as a software to you, and you are just consuming it. Okay, but when you are using certain underlying infrastructure, on top of that you are using some kind of a platform to build a application onto it. Okay, that is where you have a platform as a service. For example, I given you a elastic beanstalk. What elastic beanstalk does is, it provisions everything underlining it. Okay, for example, you are trying to run an application which is in Java or .NET. You bring your code and you just push it to the elastic beanstalk. Okay, what elastic beanstalk will do is, it will uh, generate the underlying storage, the underlying network, the underlying compute resources to run this. Okay, everything will be generated by the elastic beanstalk. You don't have to worry. But what you have to worry, you have to bring in your application with Google Drive or with Office 365. You are not bringing any application. So that is the distinction between the software and a platform. Okay, for your question, yes, you can give that model of different at different layers. You can give that model to your end users. For direct consumption of end users, software as a service is the model to give. Got it?
Got it, Social. So I mean, infra is core infra. Then when we are using platforms, so we are actually using those application components like middleware, queues,
Yes,
database,
yes,
yeah, and deploying our
yes,
application on top of it. So so application
yes.
will utilize those resources and serve our purpose, right?
And you are not bothered about the resources. Everything is
We are not.
taken care by the
Okay.
platform. Yeah,
Okay, that's good.
got it?
And then comes
Yeah.
software service. So it will be basically for the end user who are actually using the software
Yes,
and they're not bothered that
yes.
what's behind, right?
It is directly consuming the application. You are not installing any application. You are directly consuming the application. For example, we are using any website. Okay, we are the end user and we are directly using the application. Yeah, we are not bothered of anything which is the underlining. So that is offering as a software as a service. Yeah.
Okay. So, Toshal, just a quick question. So, let's say I have a website, okay, small
Uh-huh.
website.
Mm-hmm.
Now I take AWS as a
Mm-hmm.
hosting part. Okay. I
Mm-hmm.
deployed my website over there, and that
Mm-hmm.
website is using the resources, queues, etc., and server, the
Yeah.
application servers database over there. Okay.
Yeah.
So that will fit in as a platform as service, right? Because I've deployed my website on AWS, which is using the database queues over AWS, right?
Okay. So there is a distinction in terms of, are you managing the infrastructure?
No, no. So what I'm
You
saying
are
that
not
I have
managing it.
a small website. Okay.
Uh,
So I go subscribe to AWS and deploy
yeah.
my website over there. So this
Yeah.
website will
No.
the
So
middleware
yeah.
queues, the database over there. Yeah. Okay. So the
So we
code
have
is
to.
something I'll deploy, and
Yeah.
everything else will be on the AWS. So
Yeah.
does it fit as
So
a pass model?
no. So you have to ask few questions to yourself. Okay. Am I
Mhm.
going to manage the infrastructure, underlying infrastructure? For example, you need some kind of a hardware to underlying hardware or a virtual machine to install your application. You need some kind of a compiler to compile your application. Okay. You need some kind of a package to use it. Correct.
Yes.
So if you are managing on your own, you are not using a platform as a service. Okay. If you are
No, we're
doing that.
not managing. I want multiple VMs with scalable VMs, which I
Yes.
can
So
scale up,
in
scale
that
down.
in that
So I'll just deploy the code, nothing else. So I want my
uh,
code to run over there.
yeah, so then you have to use certain services from AWS. For example, Elastic Beanstalk, I have talked. There are
Mm-hmm.
certain tools like Cloud Formation, wherein you just uh, uh, have your code for the resource to be created and use it. So if you have that kind of a model, yes, you will. It is a platform, but yeah, then you are going to build a server. Then you are going to install applications. You are going to install any packages running for that application. Then you are not falling in the platform as a service. You are using the infrastructure. You are managing and you are maintaining it. So you will be in the infrastructure as a service. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. One last thing. So
Yeah.
let's say I I started with infrastructure as a service, and now using all the AWS Beanstalk and everything. I'm using from AWS. Okay. What I'm
Hmm.
not doing is the only thing I'm providing to AWS is my application code. Okay. Remaining
Okay.
everything I'm consuming from AWS.
Hmm.
Okay. So now for the application development team, so that becomes
Hmm.
a pass for us. Okay. So
Hmm.
now the end user who is using my application, my website
Hmm.
from anywhere in the
Hmm.
world. Okay. So for
Hmm.
them, it will be like software as a service, right?
Yes. Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So rather than making these distinctions, okay, uh, we have to focus on what resources are going to help us, in what ways it is going to help us, and how it is going to ease the operation of my complete environment. Okay, we will see that in later slide. Yeah. So before I move to basic of, I would say, I'll just give you introduction of AWS. AWS is one of the public cloud offering, and then I will take you to the certification path. Yeah. What are the certification path in AWS, and what are the importance? Who should take what? Yeah. I will just take that after I give you introduction to AWS. Yeah. So AWS is Amazon Web Services. It is a public cloud offering from Amazon as a parent company. Yeah, it is one of the leading company in terms of cloud service provider. Just I was reading in the morning. So for the 10th year, AWS has been rated as a leader in the Magic Quadrant. Okay, that is a very good distinction for AWS, and that is continuing from last several years. Yeah. Um, so AWS started in 2006. Okay, it started as kind of a internal usage. They tried to use that for their own internal purpose, and then they started it to use at commercial. So that is what they were. It was kind of a private entity for them, private cloud for them. Then they started it offering as a public service for the end users. Okay, so it is being operational in more than 190 countries. A lot of big customers, you name the domain, and the users are there for that domain. In India, we have very big customers. Netflix is one of the biggest customers for AWS. It is using humongous kind of an environment from AWS, and it is running their environment across the globe. Yeah. So I will take you through the certification path, okay, before I then go into the details of how AWS is benefiting. Yeah, give me a minute. This is important from the people who are here for the demo. uh, yeah, means this is the path you can take in terms of where you want to go. Yeah, with the cloud computing certification. Yeah, just a minute. Can you see this? My screen? Certification path?
Yes, visible to me.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay. And I was talking about the magic quadrant. So about the Gartner. So this is the magic quadrant, okay? And why we should target for AWS rather than other services as of now. Yeah. So AWS is the leading in terms of the services it is offering. He AWS is pioneer in bringing new and latest services to the market, and it is a leader in this quadrant. Okay, so this magic quadrant is divided into four: challenges, leaders, niche players, visionaries. And the one which is at the topmost corner in the leaders quadrant is the leader in that space. Okay, so AWS is consistently leading that from last 10 years and more. Yeah, the kind of services it has bring to the market has really solved a lot of challenges in terms of using the uh, problems, real world problem, be it machine learning, be it kind of a infrastructure as a service, be it serverless environment. All those are being catered by AWS. The amount of job openings for AWS in market is humongous as compared to any other service provider. Okay, Microsoft comes second, and then we have Google. But then Google, we do not have much of the footprint in India. Yes, it is very predominant in US region, but it is less. Then we have other players like Google, Alibaba Cloud, Oracle, IBM also have there. Okay, but it is in a very I would say a small pocket. Yeah. In terms of AWS certifications, there are three levels. Yeah, foundational, associate, and professional. Yeah, and then we also have a specialty of certification. So foundational certification is called AWS Cloud Practitioner. This is a very starting point of certification, wherein you need to know what are the services it is offered by AWS. uh, what service does what function in the environment. For example, you have a EC2 service. It is used for providing you the virtual machine. Yeah, it is going to run your OS. It is going to give you a underlying hardware to run your application. Huh? And similar things are covered in foundational certification. It gives you a basic understanding of what are the models, what are the tenants of cloud computing, what are the support model of AWS. All those things are covered in AWS Cloud Practitioner. It is very elementary for you to sustain in a market. Um, you can do Cloud Practitioner. Okay, it is just, I would say, a kind of a validation that you just know little bit of AWS. That's it. The cloud practitioner certification comes with a, uh, exam fees of $100. Yeah, and it is again a multiple choice questions. Everything is multiple choice questions in AWS. Yeah, AWS expect you to have at least 6 months of fundamental understanding of AWS cloud. Then we comes to associate. Associate is a certification which gives you the footprint into the AWS world. With this associate certificate, you can very well say that yes, I know I have hands-on on AWS and I can very well run the environment of AWS. AWS expect that you should have at least of 1 years of experience in working on AWS environment, be it implementing the EC2 service, then S3 or VPC or anything. Yeah. So with associate, you will be able to do that. In associate, there are three different streams. Okay, one is called as AWS Solution Architect, second is called SysOf Administrator, and third is called Developer. Yeah, so AWS Solution Architect is for those people who want to pursue their career in terms of developing solutions on AWS. Okay, you will design the AWS solution, you will give consultancy in terms of building the solution and solving general questions in terms of the AWS environment. Yeah, so that is solution architect. You will have little hands-on experience as well in terms of AWS environment, but you are not expected to do the deep hands-on in terms of building complete AWS environment. That is expected from a SysOf administrator. SysOf administrator will do the hands-on stuff. He will manage, he will maintain, and he will operate the AWS environment from a scratch. So that skill set are expected from a SysOf administrator. For a SysOf administrator, uh, you will do everything which comes as a part of a day-to-day activity of any administrator. Okay, be it like Windows administrator, be it Linux administrator. So same you will do for AWS environment as a SysOp administrator. Then comes developer associate. Developer associate is for people who are already from a development background, who has a knowledge of the coding, who has a knowledge of languages. Yeah, and those languages coding experience you can bring into AWS, consume the AWS services, for example, any kind of a elastic beanstalk, any kind of a lambda function, or any kind of a CI/CD pipeline. All these you can utilize from AWS. You need to have a coding background. For solution architect, for SysOp, you do not need to have any coding background. You will survive without coding background in both of the stream. Okay, there is no mandate that you need to have a coding experience with these two certifications. With developers, yes, you are expected to understand little bit of coding path, be it Python, be it JSON, YAML. Okay, you need to have a little bit of experience of coding. Yeah, this will complement your development experience and you can pursue this developer associate. Is that clear? Any
Yes.
doubts?
No.
In terms of demand of this, solution architect is in highly demand. Okay, because it covers some spectrum of the hands-on part as well as the solution designing part. Yeah, so that is the most demand certification which is there in the AWS portfolio. Once you move from associate, you go to the professional level. The next transition for a solution architect associate certification is the professional certification. Okay, for sysop and developer, you transitioned into a DevOps and engineer professional certification. Yeah, both the certification are extremely tough. AWS expect that you should have at least 2 years of thorough hands-on experience to go for this professional certification. A very clear distinction with AWS certification is there is no condition that you cannot give a professional certificate directly. Okay, you can give a professional certificate directly. You do not have to go via practitioner, associate, and then professional. You can give anytime any certification. Same applies to the specialty certification. Specialty certification are nothing but targeting certain special skill set. For example, security. There are security services in AWS, KMS, uh, WAF, all those services which are catering to security of your AWS environment, that is taken care by AWS security specialty certificate. All professional, all specialty, they are at $300. Associate are at $150. Once you clear any certification, the next certification you get at 50% discount. For example, if you have cloud, you have appeared for cloud practitioner exam, The next certification, if you go for, you will have a 50% discount on that. Okay, for example, you go for associate, you will get a 50% discount on that. So that means 150 will be reduced to $75. Yeah, you also get a practice question test once you clear one certification. Then you can select one practice question from AWS to use that as a practice paper for you. Yeah, so that is about the certification. All are multiple choice questions. Okay, the professional and the specialty are little tough. You need a very good understanding of AWS environment. Is this clear?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So the latest in the AWS certified solution architect is SSACC CO2. Okay, this is the new version of the certification, which deals in four domains: designing resilience architecture, designing high performing architecture, securing application and architecture, and designing cost optimization architecture. Okay, all those are the domains on which your skills are tested. You need to be thorough in terms of the services which are there, part of the solution architect certificate. Yeah, as I told you, $150. Minimum passing score is 720 out of 1000. Multiple choice questions, multiple response questions. Okay, so you will have certain questions where you have to give two responses out of five, and then there will be something like four options will be there. You have to select one. Yeah, so that's about the certification. Yeah, then coming to our uh, yeah. Okay, so coming to our benefits of AWS, your traditional environment. So I'll give you a background of what a traditional environment will look. Okay, so when we say a traditional environment, so uh, if you say 10 years back, when we want to do something, okay, we need to have our own servers, we need to have our own team of engineers who are going to build it. Okay, we need to have an application developer, and then only we'll be able to run our application and take it to the market. Okay, you need your own space to host this environment. You need all the power, cooling, everything to be in place before you even start doing anything on your application. Yeah, so the time you start your application, usage of your application from the building of your environment, okay, it takes at least a minimum time of 6 week, because you need to procure a hardware, you need to build it, you need to have a space to build it. Okay, and then you will start your application building. Yeah, that is a traditional model of having your own environment. Okay, with this there are challenges that you have to invest upfront in your environment before you start just monetizing your application. You are not sure whether you will be able to successfully build your application or not, whether it will be accepted by the end users. You are not aware. You have to do all the investment upfront, and then you work on your application logic. Okay, so that is kind of a capex intensive. Okay, you have to have everything in place ready, and then only you will uh, use it. You need to provision for the enough capacities. For example, if your application is very well accepted by the end users and it is in high demand, so you need to very well factor for that capacity in before doing anything. Yeah, so that is again a challenge. Yeah, so proper provisioning of your environment is very important. Okay, so the first and foremost thing is you are not using the capex model with cloud computing, you are using the opex model. What is opex model? So you are not doing upfront investment, you are only paying for whatever the services you are going to use. Okay, for example, you are going to use a server, or you are not bothered about a server, you are just bringing in your application, and you will use,
Hello. Hello.
consume that. Yeah.
There is a lot of
Yeah,
noise
some
actually.
disturbance is there. Voice disturbance is there.
Uh,
No, right now you are okay, but
It's fine now,
just
okay.
yeah.
few seconds before, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Please go
Okay.
on.
Okay. Okay. Fine. So, so what I was saying, so you just get your AWS environment survey subscription done, and you start using. So the lead time of procuring the environment servers, installing it, then giving it to the application user. So you are just bypassing that lead time to set up your environment. Okay, from 6 week, you are just within 1 hour you are able to set up everything and you start using it. Okay, the best part is you are not investing a single penny for it. Okay, you will pay only after consumption, and at the end of month you will get a bill for that. Okay, so you are moving from a capex environment to a opex environment. Yeah, second part to it, even if you do not know whether your application is going to be accepted by the customers, whether it is not going to be accepted, there is no kind of a lock-in period for you. Okay, to use that for certain 1 month, 10 months, or 1 year. There is no lock-in period. If you feel that yes, within 1 week you feel that no, this is not clicking and I don't want to go ahead with that, I want to do something else, you can release your environment and that's it. You pay for whatever the environment you are used, that's it. So this is a major benefit of using a traditional environment, DC environment, over AWS. Yeah, you get a massive discount in terms of cost benefit because of the economy of scale. AWS has their humongous environment, and whatever you as an end user are using will be very small. It's kind of a drop in an ocean. Yeah, with that they will be able to pass you the benefit of the scale. Yeah, so we buy things in bulk. That time we get huge discount. Customers are the end you the one which is giving you the services is passing on the benefit of having a bulk environment. So that is what AWS is passing to the environment. No need to guess the required infrastructure. Yes, you can grow, you can shrink your environment as in when your requirement changes. Yeah, increase speed and agility, independent from any third party vendors and their availability. You do not have to wait for your vendor, a hardware vendor, to deliver that you to your doorstep, then use it. Nothing. You do not have any dependency on that. You simply have an internet connection. That's it. You use the AWS environment, and you have a global access. AWS environment is spread across the globe. You can use any environment in US. If you are end users, if your consumer is in US, you can build that application right from here in India, and you can host that environment in US and give that environment to your customers in US. Okay, so there is nothing as such which stops you to serve different geographies right from your home. Is this clear? Apart from Jitendra, anybody has any questions?
So that's all good.
No questions, sir. Clear.
Okay, okay, okay. So, I'll take different ways how we are going to access the AWS environment. Okay, so I will just show you what the AWS environment looks. Okay, how you can access it. Okay, what are the ways to it? Then what we have to do is we have to set up a AWS environment for us. We have to create an account. Okay, there is something called as a free tier account which we have to use. Yeah, so the different ways to access is via AWS management console. It is a web-based kind of a console wherein you log in, you create your account, you log in, and you will be able to use that. Yeah, then you can also use and configure everything via AWS command line. Okay, it's a command line interface. Then you can also use SDKs from AWS. Yeah, they will give you APIs, and you can run that API. You can call that APIs and run your application. Yeah, advantage of using all those things is management console. People who are not very well familiar with CLI, they can use management console. People who do not want have to do bulk configuration, they can use AWS management console. With CLI, you can use commands to configure the environment. You can do bulk provisioning with the CLIs. With management also there are certain applications wherein you can use that service and do a bulk configuration. For example, AWS System Manager you can use for that. But yes, CLI again gives you the command line interface. Yeah. SDKs, it is more towards calling those APIs from applications. From a developer point of view, you will use that, okay, where you do not need to expose anything in terms of uh, uh, certain users or anything. You call those APIs via your application and that's it. Yeah. Then querying up APIs and all those things again will part of the APIs which we are going to use. Yeah. I will just open one website, okay, and I will also show you the console. Yeah, give me a minute. Am I going too fast, too slow? Everybody is comfortable with English, guys?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes. मैं ओपन हूँ. अगर आपको अगर अगर आपको लगता है कि अगर थोड़ा कुछ हिंदी में भी समझा है तो इट्स ओके. आई एम ओपन फॉर इट. हाँ, मेन एजेंडा ये
Yes,
है
yes.
कि यू शुड बी एबल टू लर्न थिंग्स. या दैट इज द मेन एजेंडा. आपको समझना चाहिए, आपको आना चाहिए. वॉट एवर आई एम ट्राइंग टू टीच यू. ओके, सो वो आना चाहिए आपको. मेन एजेंडा ये है. और वो आप यू कैन यूज दैट. आप एग्जाम क्लियर करने के लिए यू कैन यूज दैट नॉलेज वॉट एवर आई एम टीचिंग. सो वो आपको आना चाहिए. जस्ट अ मिनट. लॉग इन 9. Okay, so I was talking about the console. Console AWS का console जैसा होता है. This is the AWS console. I am using my login now to log in into this. Okay, आपको ऐसा कुछ दिखेगा when you log in into the AWS console. Okay? And there are different services which
Tushar,
are
sorry, the
categorized.
screen नहीं दिख
I'm
रहा है.
not able
नहीं दिख रहा?
to see your screen.
The screen should be blank.
Yes.
Yeah, just a minute. I'm not sure whether if I use this Skype, it goes. Okay, fine. So can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so this is AWS console. Okay, this is the
No,
console from.
I
no.
guess, Toshal, everyone is not able to see the screen.
Yes, yes.
Is it
No,
is
your
it
screen is not visible, Tosh.
okay?
I can see it now. It's AWS management console screen, right, Toshal?
Yes, yes, it is. Can you
It's
see
gone
now?
again. It's gone again.
It has gone again.
Yeah.
Yeah, not visible.
Okay.
It is visible now.
Yeah,
Visible
Okay.
it's
now.
visible.
Okay. Good. So I'm using two screen. Actually, it is whenever I'm trying to use the Skype, it is just going away. Yeah. So this is the management console, AWS console. These are the different AWS service which are given to the end users. When you try to use public cloud, you will not have such a, I would say, vast kind of a environment. Yeah. Um, but for public cloud, you will have such kind of thing. For example, you have everything account, you have billing, everything will be shown here, and you will be able to manage everything from this control pane. This is just a management console. You will also have a CLI, okay, which we can use to configure anything. Yeah. Uh, Services are categorized into compute, storage, database, okay, management and governance. Major services are like EC2, EC2, S3, okay, database RDS. Then we have AWS CloudWatch, okay, IAM. All those things are the majorly used services. Yeah, from a security point of view. Then I will open another website which is catering to this part. Yeah. So I will give you an overview of the AWS global infrastructure, how AWS is spread across the globe, what are regions, what are availability zones, what are edge locations, all I will tell you. Yeah. So AWS infrastructure is divided into something called as region. Region is nothing but a geographical region which is independent of other region, and it contains multiple availability zone. Okay, so what is availability zone? Availability zone is nothing but a physical data center in that particular region. Okay, any region to be called as a region, you need to have at least two availability zone present in that region, then only you will be called as a region. Yeah? So, and those availability zone will be a kind of a two distinct data centers spread across a distance of at least 50 to 80 kilometers apart from each other. Okay, so then only they will be called as a AZ. Okay, AZ will have its own powers, uh, cooling, internet connectivity, network connectivity. All those things are separate for each and every AZs. Yeah, and they are spread across the globe. Okay, so major region, US East region is a major region which has North Virginia as a region, as a Ohio as a region. North Virginia has 6 availability zone. This is the region where AWS launches their new services. This is the first region where they launch everything. Yeah, so this is a very important region from a AWS perspective. Then we have regions which are spread across other geography like Asia Pacific. We have Mumbai. In Mumbai, we have 3 AZs. This is a slight older slide wherein it is mentioned as 2 AZs. Okay, but we have 3 AZs in Mumbai. In terms of AWS, they do not tell you that where their AZs are located. Okay, they only tell you what is the region. Okay, they say Mumbai, that means it is in somewhere in Mumbai. Okay, they will not specify that it is located in somewhere this office or anything. Okay, they keep it as a secret. Yeah, but people who are using those, they know where it is located in the Mumbai, for example. Yeah, so all those things. Yeah, let me open that website for you. AWS Global. So this is very intuitive website. I will copy paste and put it in the chat. Is the sharing on? Okay.
No.
Okay, fine.
Oh, it went.
Yeah, it went and it came back again because I have opened. So I'm pasting this. If after this call, you can explore this. It is very wonderful site which is built by AWS. Yeah, I'm pasting it in the chat. It's a very wonderful site. It gives you kind of an intuitive way, okay, of looking at the regions, availability zone, local zones, edge locations, all those things. Okay, so you can just scroll your mouse and just see everything. Yeah, I was talking about the North Virginia region. Regions are denoted by orange colors. AZs are by blue colors, local zone by green colors, and then point of presence or edge location by pink. So North Virginia, if I select on this, it will take me to this. Okay. So what it shows is everything is interconnected. All the AZs are interconnected. Can you see? Two AZs are interconnected here. Two AZs are interconnected. Two AZs are interconnected. Yeah. And it is called a North Virginia region. Similarly, Ohio. Okay. It has AZs connected. All those are interconnected by high throughput fiber interconnect behind the scenes. Okay, so it's a kind of a gigabyte kind of a storage, the throughput for those fiber. Yeah, so availability zone. Okay, so it gives a customer ability to operate production as application database that are more highly available, fault tolerance and scalable, that would be possible from a single data center. Okay, so availability is nothing but a data center for you. Yeah, so this is, you can get the information from here. Yeah, so every AZ will have um, uh, it is its own power, cooling and everything. Yeah, then we will see point of presence. Okay, so point of presence is nothing but where their uh, connectivity is terminated. Yeah, so it is kind of a endpoint from where the connectivity is given to the AWS environment. There is something called as edge location. Edge location are nothing but a location from where uh, for certain application you need a low latency kind of a uh, environment. Okay, so those are provided by edge locations. Edge locations are also used for content delivery closer to the end users. So there are multiple edge locations. For example, in India, we have close to around 5 edge locations. Yeah. For example, Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, we have Delhi and Bangalore, I think we have. So those are edge locations. So this is how everything is spread across. For a Mumbai region, this is how we have. Yeah. So we have three availability zone. It is called as the Mumbai region. Yeah. So this is a wonderful website. You can go through it later. Yeah. So
Well, this
these are,
AGs
yeah.
are actual data centers.
Yes, these are actual data centers.
Content zones are not data centers. Right?
Which?
The content delivery age locations you said used for
No,
content delivery.
they, they are they are not AZs. Okay, but edge locations, they are kind of data centers wherein it has a kind of a high throughput connectivity between your uh, availability zone and the edge location. Okay, so it is small as compared to the AZs. Okay, edge location will not have the services. Okay, when you go and consume some kind of services, you go to the AZs and there you deploy that services. But in terms of edge location, it is not. Yeah.
Okay.
So it is majorly to do with content delivery, any kind of because edge location is connected to the AWS environment, it has very low latency. Okay, it is not going on the internet and then giving you connectivity. It is connected by dark fiber in the backend, and that gives a low latency. Okay, for example, content delivery is nothing but for the website like Netflix or Hotstar and all those things. They are very sensitive in terms of the delivering the content. A user in US can watch a Indian web series. Okay, but then for him to come from US and then download the thing from India, it will be a kind of a delay in accessing that environment. Correct?
Yep.
So what does the AWS service do is, whatever the content he's trying to access, they will cache that to the nearest edge location to that user. Okay, so that he do not have to frequently come to India and get that content back to US, and from there he watch. Okay, so what does that the application does it, it caches that content nearest to his location, which will be edge location for him, and from there he will watch it, so that the performance of application is improved, and he do not have to come all the way across the globe and use it. Okay, so that is the use of edge location. These are the regions you will see, and these are denoted by this names. Okay, and the AZs will be denoted something like this: US East 1A, 1B, 1C. Okay, based upon number of AZs. For example, US East will have 6 AZs: 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, 1E, 1F. Yeah, so that is how I talked about this AZs. Okay, so you will have at least 2 AZs. Edge location I have talked about. Yes. So this is again not updated, but yeah, we have a new Kolkata region which has recently launched edge location 2 months back. Okay. Important AWS services. I will take you to the management console. Important AWS services. EC2 is one of the important services. This service will give you the underlying virtual machine to be used in a AWS environment. Okay, on top it can be a Windows, and it can be a Linux. It can you can use Windows 2016, 2019. You can use Linux. You can use CentOS. You can Debian. You can use Red Hat Linux. All these are available in the cloud. Yeah. Give me a minute. Guys, are you able to see my screen properly?
Yes.
Hello. So
Yes.
is it
Yes,
visible,
yes.
or should I increase the size of the screen?
Yes, okay. That's fine.
Huh? Okay. This is also visible, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
Good. Okay. Okay. So we were talking about the important services of AWS. So we have IAM. Okay. This is called Identity and Access Management Service. This service is used for setting up users, group, any kind of a permission you need for AWS users to be used. What all services end users can use. All this is governed in this Identity and Access Management Service. Then we have something called S3. Okay, S3 is nothing but your AWS storage service. S3 will give you object storage in the cloud. You can store your files, you can store your images, you can store your videos, everything you can store on S3. Okay, so here it is the S3. This is how S3 services. Okay, you have to configure a bucket, any folder. A folder is called a bucket in AWS. Yeah, so you create ev- everything here. People who are not speaking, please go on mute. Let me mute. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Then we have I've talked about EC2. Then there is something called as VPC. Okay. This is the networking, the software network which is present for AWS environment. It's called virtual private network. This is the underlying network wherein you have all resources. You create your EC2 instance in a VPC. You create your load balancer in a VPC. All those things are created. You give your IP address, you give public IP address, private IP address, your subnets, everything is configured under VPC. Okay. Then you have other services like load balancer. Load balancer is nothing but for load balancing your traffic, application traffic. Then we have something called EBS. Okay, don't worry if you are not able to recollect this everything. We are going to cover this in detail in our class. Okay, I'm just giving just a short introduction to all the services. Yeah, so EBS is nothing but your hard drive which you attach to a virtual machine. Okay, you have to attach a hard drive. So there are types of hard drive. The EBS volume you can attach to your virtual machine, EC2 machine. We will see that in more details in our later on class. Then we have something called Amazon DynamoDB. Okay, this is a NoSQL database from AWS. Yeah, so it's a fully managed kind of a database, and it can be used um, for consumption. Okay, you do not have to worry of the underlying infrastructure. AWS will take care of it. Yeah. Then we have Amazon RDS. Okay, it's a SQL kind of a database. In this, you have different flavors. Okay, of RDS. Yeah, where like MS SQL, MySQL, or other flavors of like Oracle and all those things you can have in RDS. Then we have Redshift. Okay, Redshift is nothing a data warehouse from a solution from AWS. Then we have Amazon Lambda. Okay, Lambda is nothing but kind of a function which is triggered based upon event. For example, you want to based upon certain events, you want to trigger an email. So you use a Lambda function. It is evoked and it is just terminated as soon as your work is done. It is evoked for its computational power, its processing power, and once that process is done, it is just evoked. For each and every task, you have to evoke one Lambda function. Yeah. Then we have Amazon Elasticache. Amazon Elasticache is nothing but a caching mechanism for faster processing and improving the performance of your application. Yeah. So that is also provided on AWS. Then there is something called Amazon SQS. This is a simple queue service. Okay. So this is used as kind of a queue services. Okay. You can queue any kind of a task with this service. It is also used for decoupling your applications from one to another. Okay. It gives you a kind of a environment where you queue your task and then it is processed. For example, a logistic order processing. Once you place an order with AWS, it goes into kind of a SQS queue and it checks whether the first step is done, second step is done, that kind of a thing. Okay, so it's kind of a queue. Then we have something called as AWS SNS, okay, which is simple notification service. Okay, so notification, it gives you a notification, whether it's a email, whether it's a chat, okay, SMS, all those are part of simple notification. Specifically to email, there is service called SES. So you can generate a emails based upon this. Yeah, you do not need to have any kind of a um, um, email service to be consumed. It is the service which is given by AWS. You can just simply use this and generate emails for your customers. You can run your campaigns and can send emails to your customers. Then we have API gateways. It is for processing of your APIs, interaction of those with Lambda, all those things are part of the API gateways. Then we have AWS Route 53. Yeah, AWS Route 53 is nothing but a DNS service from AWS. You can bring in your own DNS or you can manage the DNS from AWS. AWS provides their own DNS service. You can buy a domain name from AWS and you can use that. You can bring in domain name from some other vendor, for example, GoDaddy, BigRock, all those things. You can bring into AWS and you can use it. Then CloudFront, okay. CloudFront is nothing but the CDN service from AWS, okay. CDN is nothing but content delivery network. I gave you example of Netflix. those service, Netflix is using the CDN service from AWS to deliver the content closer to the end user. Yeah. Then we have CloudWatch. CloudWatch is nothing but the AWS monitoring services. It monitors the parameter of your environment. For example, if a EC2 is running, it monitors what is the CPU utilization, what is the network throughput, what is the disk write, all those things. There are parameters which are given as a default, and there are certain parameter you need to customize. Okay, so that can be done with CloudWatch. It gives you alarms of any services which is not performing as expected. You can trigger certain task based on those alarm. For example, a billing alarm, you can generate a billing alarm with the condition that yes, if my billing has exceeded a certain threshold, I should get an email. Okay, so you can set up that with CloudWatch. So these are the major services. Yeah, there are other services which we are going to use, but then we will see it later on. Yeah. So we have created AWS account, but in the interest of time, we will not do it today. In the next class, we will do it because I have to run through each and every one to set up this account. Okay, so there is something called as a free account. AWS gives the free account to the users for a period of 12 months. Okay, you can use that account for 12-month period, and there are certain services which you can use free of cost. Okay, you will not pay any cost for that services till a certain threshold. What threshold? For example, you can use a virtual machine for 750 hours, okay, per month. That means you can run your virtual machine for 750 hours in a month and you will not pay a single rupee. Okay, similarly, you can use 5 GB of storage space on S3 and you will not pay anything. You can use Lambda for 1 million transactions, 1 million. That means you can evoke 1 million Lambda and you will not be able to pay anything. Same with RDS database. You can use the database for 750 hours per month with a certain kind of a EC2 instance. So all this are comes with the free tier services. So there are the steps. So any doubt till now?
Sorry, Tushar,
No, sir.
again, it's me.
Who?
So,
Yeah.
Amazon RDS, the font is little, but I could see database service for MySQL, Postgres, Maria,
Yes.
Oracle. Is
Yes.
Oracle hosted on AWS? We can
Yeah,
use
it can
Oracle.
be. Yeah, it can be.
We can have an directly Oracle RDBMS. I'm hearing that Oracle is not comfortable with AWS or Google.
No, it is. It is. It is.
It is okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can bring in your own license. Okay. So with Oracle, there are certain challenges in terms of license and all those things, which are can be handled. So don't worry. Oracle is also you can install.
What about the IBM DB2?
Uh-huh.
IBM DB2. So is it possible to install through AWS?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
There is a separate SAP practice in AWS wherein you can host your SAP environment, DB2. Then so whatever we are doing in a traditional way, we are taking a hardware, okay, whether it's a SUSE Linux or Windows or anything, okay, we are installing some application on top of it. Same thing we are doing it. Yes, with AWS, cannot use AIX. Okay, AIX is not supported on AWS, which is the IPM Unix flavor. Okay, so it is not supported. You have to port your application from AIX to Linux. Okay, so AIX is not supported on AWS. Windows are supported, data center edition. You can also bring in your own licenses. Okay, what does that means is you just use the hardware from AWS, the underlying virtual machines from AWS, and you bring the license needed for that virtual machine from your own on-premise. there is something called as the enterprise agreement for Windows with the software assurance. If that is there, you can bring that license into AWS and you can use it, and you will save on the cost. Yeah. Anything else?
No.
Anybody has AWS account setup? Free account setup?
No.
Yes,
No.
I have.
No.
Who Jitendra you have?
No.
No, I'm talking Smriti. So I have AWS
Yeah, you.
account.
Yeah, I know because you have been in the class, so you have. Yes, I understand that. So anybody else who has the account?
No.
Uh-huh.
No, sir.
Okay. So Rupali,
Yes. Yes, Toshal.
so if we can stop here for today and then start with the account tomorrow.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I'll just
Okay,
talk to
right.
these all candidate.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah.
So I would say we'll stop here for today and we will continue tomorrow at the same time. So I hope everybody is comfortable with the timing. Correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Well, I request.
Yes.
Actually, I was looking for timing from 10 to 12.
Jitendra, is that?
Yes.
Any specific reason, Jitendra, why you want 10?
Actually, my office ends quite late on every day. So even for Saturday, I
Okay.
mean,
Okay.
yeah. So
Okay.
it's difficult for me to
Okay.
manage office and this training on the weekend.
Okay. So
So
what
that's why
happened?
specifically I was committed that it will be from 10 to 12. So that's why I joined this course. And Seema told me that specifically you can be here for Sunday, then sorry, for Saturday, and then they will change the time.
Okay. So if is it possible if we move it to 9:30?
Yeah, sure,
Okay,
definitely.
9:30.
Yeah,
Fine
means
with that.
yeah, means we have to just check in terms of everybody's availability. I understand that you are working late, but then again, half an hour here and there, I would say it should be manageable. Correct, Jitendra?
9:30. Okay.
Yeah. So that should be manageable. I hope so.
Yeah, I'm saying
Yes,
9:30.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Great. Great. So then what we'll do is we will convene tomorrow 9:30. I'll just tell you that we will set up tomorrow AWS account. We will set up the billing alert. Okay, tomorrow. And for AWS account, to set up a AWS account, you need at least a debit card or a credit card. Okay, we will go
Okay.
through the procedure. We will create a account. AWS takes your credit or debit details. It charges you two rupees, but it reverts once the procedures is done. Okay, so no need to worry. How the billing happens in AWS is it 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 generates an invoice every month and you have to pay that after you consume the service. Yeah, few basic things in AWS. If you do not need that resource, for example EC2 instance, you should just stop it. Okay, if you stop that resource, you are not going to be charged for that resource. If it is running, you will be charged for that instance. Okay, so this is the basic thing. I will tell you which services are charged when it is running, which are not charged. Uh, in tomorrow's class, I will take you through that and make sure that you follow that to avoid any kind of a billing to your environment. Okay,
Okay.
Okay.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Toshal.
Yes.
So that's it for today. See you tomorrow, and hope everybody has a stable internet connection, because that is very important when we are interacting with each other. You should be able to go through each and every screen smoothly and show that everybody be in a same pace to complete the task. Okay, there can be something like understanding of things and all those things, but then yeah, we should try to complete everything in the same pace. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you
Okay.
everyone, have a nice day.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll be needing your 2 minutes.
Okay, yeah, go ahead Rupali. Yeah.
Yeah. See,